data and can work out labor productivity, because you could not do so if you don't have the same concepts and definition relating to your variables. Common classification systems are also very important in the system. So, for instance, we're using industrial classification of economic activities. And this is the same classification that's applied in the SNA, and is also implied in the producer price index, as well as the labor force as well. So if you're looking at movement of prices in the output of an industry, say bakery industry, and you want to look at, okay, what's the value of that output in the baking industry? This can be examined because that data in terms of output of the bakery industry would come from the system of national accounts. The actual movement of prices relating to the bakery industry will come from the producer price index. So those things can be examined and analyzed, but that can't be if you don't have a common classification system that works together. The other classification system that I just given an example has to deal with the classification of consumption, of individual consumption by purpose, COICA, as it's called. This is using the household consumption expenditure, both in the SNA and for the consumer price index. So for instance, you will have information on what price movements are in food and non-alcoholic beverages. You will have from the SNA, household consumption, on that item. So one can even relate and come out with what real consumption took place, because the price index actually takes away the price effect and gives you what is real consumption. Again, if you don't have the same classification, that analysis cannot work. I just touched on data quality standards. Basically, the data users demand for the consistency and coherence across it has really led to concerns regarding data quality, and so this led to the various data quality standards. I won't go into that because I know yesterday we dealt with it at length, and just to say that basically they really give guidelines, in particular focusing on economic statistics that it was mentioned, in terms of improvement on data quality, assist in your assessment of your data quality, and as well improve our statistics. So the focus of these, particularly as you notice, the standards really have been developed by the IMF, and basically as a lender they needed to understand and ensure that whatever policies they themselves are coming out with, they're coming out with quality data, using quality data. So it sort of led itself to their development on this. But it's a framework which I am saying can be applied elsewhere in other related statistical systems. They can just go back. Okay, let me just talk on areas, go past that. Areas of development. And basically, I want to speak about the harmonization across the National Statistical System, because as I mentioned before, the system right now, in terms of economic, there is harmonization, has been developed in terms of the international guidelines that allows for it. One thing in terms of the data that is being produced within STATIN, this is being, our attempts have been to ensure that this does across the various economic statistics. What we're not too sure of, and this is something that we need to look at, is where the data, the economic statistics, is being prepared by another agency within our National Statistical System. So for instance, as I mentioned before, the rest of the world accounting, the SME, has the identical coverage at the balance of payment. Is it being consistent? And it should be showing up that. That's a need for us to look at, the harmonizing, making sure that in fact this is so, because I know the Bank of Jamaica has in fact adopted international guidelines like ourselves. Is it so? So we need to ensure that. Again, we need to look at, within the economic statistics, regional harmonization. Not just national within the national system, but that is now a focus as mentioned by Dr. Harris. We have on board a number of new and updated international methodologies being recommended. This is something that we will need to consider. And one important one that is on the table and is actually being consulted internationally is the draft guidelines on integrated economic statistics. Actually, no, it is giving you a manual that guides you on how to integrate the economic statistics that we have. And this, I think, will be available, I think, between now and next year, that we can have. Again, a new data demand we're looking at is international trading services. And another area that we need to look at, which our data users are looking at, and consider what the whole concept of sustainable development, and therefore leads us into environment statistics and environmental accounting. So basically, that is it, ladies and gentlemen. I think this leads on to your environment statistics framework. Thank you.